Hello everybody, this is Intuitive Retta. How are you today? I want to say hello to all my new subscribers and of course my love to all my old subscribers that have been with me from the beginning. You can find me at Intuitive Retta on Facebook, Instagram. Instagram I kind of, when I remember, do daily divination. So if you're interested in that, find me on Instagram under Intuitive Retta, one word. And maybe the more subscribers I get to Instagram, it will remind me to do more of the daily divinations. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Intuitive Retta. And if you would like your own personal reading, email me at rettaware@gmail.com. I'm going to do today's reading on Nikki Haley. The last reading I did with her was last year, right before the airstrikes on Syria. And I didn't find her to be, I found her to kind of be a betrayer and kind of deceptive, and also not really, basically working someone else's agenda, not really so much as Trump's White House agenda. And also there was something to do with her husband. I also and I did see the bombing strikes that occurred with that tower card, and I mentioned that. So that was before the airstrikes, I believe. So what we're going to do here is, I heard that, I haven't really been watching the news lately. If you guys, because I've been into this series. If you guys like epic fantasy series, this series is so good. The first book, it's called The Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass by Sarah Maas. It is so good. The first book, it has pre-sequels. I haven't read the pre-sequels. People said if you read the pre-sequels, the first book would be like epic, but I didn't read the pre-ones. So the first book was okay. I gave it like a 3 stars. The second book was better. And the third book just was like, oh my God, that was 5 stars. So I'm on the 4th book now. So I can't do anything. I've been, this 4th book, my eyes are tired from reading 3 other books. So I'm listening to this one as an audiobook, because it has 600 and some pages. But if you really do like epic fantasy, this series is so freaking good. So that's just my little tidbit. Maybe you guys can read along. You can find me on Goodreads too if you're interested. I read a lot of paranormal and fantasy books. So if you're interested in those type of books about witches and werewolves and vampires and fae and stuff, come find me on Goodreads, and you can look by my scores what books that I think are great. If it's 3 for me is like, oh, it got me through, it was readable. 4 is like, this was really good. And 5 stars, if I give a book a 5 stars, that's like, holy crap, it blew me away. So I'm doing Nikki Haley again. She's the Emperor, which she has a lot of masculine energy. I'm surprised she's resigned. I know before it was talking about a lot of her family, and because she is an emperor, are very family oriented, but they're also very business oriented. They want to get to the top of their field, but with the emperor, they can end things that no longer serve them quick, fast. You know, if something doesn't serve them well, they can quickly, you know, let it go. So I want to see what kind of contributed to her resignation. So this is Les Vampires. This is for her, the energy around her thoughts and stuff of the resignation. And then I'm going to do, I haven't used this deck before. It's kind of busy. Hopefully if I can't read well with it, then I'll try another one. I don't kind of like busy decks anymore, but this is by Lisa Hunt. This is the Ghost and, what is it? Ghosts and Shadows? Something like that. Tarot. It's kind of busy, so we'll see how it goes. So this is Nikki Haley. I believe this is the first time I've ever used this deck, because sometimes you just look at a deck. I used to like, maybe about 10 years ago, I liked busy decks. They triggered my intuition better. But now I find I like kind of basic decks that have very little going on in it. It seems, you know, you'll notice when you do tarot, your tastes kind of change as the years go on, and mine has. So I kind of like a less busy deck. So this is Nikki Haley. So the energy around her is supernatural, miraculous, otherworldly. That's very strange. This is that had to do with her decision to resign. You guys know I'm very much into the occult, esoteric. I watch symbolisms in logos and companies, and they're all magical sigils. From the Apple, from the Apple logo to the VW logo, they all are magical symbols and sigils. So supernatural. I wonder what that has to do with her. Okay, where is she at now? The Ace of Swords. So it kind of looks like a lot of truths or a lot of things have come in her way. So the Ace of Swords is like truth coming. So there's a lot of different things going on. It wasn't just one thing that kind of led her to the decision. A lot of thoughts, a lot of chaos going around. I kind of feel like this was a decision to kind of protect herself. If you look at this looks like, where is this saying supernatural, right, and otherworldly and miraculous? You see here in this deck, there is a book opened, and with this book open, which is holded by the sword, you kind of see an otherworldly spell or, you know, chaos going on. So did she find out some truths about what's really going on? Because if you guys watched my ET, Phone Home, Trump and Space Force, I'm telling you that there's other things going on that meets the eye. You know, that there are interdimensionals, extraterrestrials, all this different stuff, and these elite people and stuff. Maybe you don't believe in magic and esoteric and occult, but these rich people, these people in power, they do. When people are in power, they will do so much to stay in power. And they will do a lot of different things to kind of control power and energy. And remember, energy isn't good or bad, it's how you use it. So this is telling me maybe, you know, she found some hard truths in regards to what is all going on around her. Okay, what's the cross to bear to that? Is the King of Pentacles. The cross to bear to this is the King of Pentacles. So from her truth and all this chaos around her, this could be the cross to bear, could be her husband, which in the other reading showed her husband. It could be Trump. But it seems it could be a couple of things. But to me, this is a man. So it could be her husband. It could be her, because she is also the emperor. So this kind of resonates with that emperor energy. But I also see, like, she is scared. And she is, whoever it is, there's somebody waiting back here. And back here is waiting. To me, it's like, what's the guy from Sleepy Hollow, where he kind of comes and cuts off the heads or something? I see that back here. So I think there may be some kind of danger to maybe even her husband. Let's see underneath. The world, the end, traveling. She had to end. She was the UN ambassador, right? So that tells you a lot of traveling in the world. Maybe things weren't as safe for her as that they once were. I know you guys are going to be like, what? I'm thinking things probably aren't as safe for her. If you look back at my other reading, it told you that she had another person that she kind of reported to, which wasn't Trump. That, you know, this other person had a different agenda, and that's who her loyalty lies with. So maybe that's what she's worried about. Maybe whatever that she was doing has came to light, and now she's kind of like fearing for something. See, in the past, the Queen of Cups, Queen of Cups. So in the past, it's telling me that she was working off or doing something in regards to the emotions. Her job was to kind of rouse up emotions and make plans from that. So to me, this is telling me all the way back to Syria and stuff that was her job, to kind of round up emotions. Let's see what's on her mind is Page of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is kind of taking what you have. I think she's kind of worried in regards to also, does she have a daughter? I don't know if she has any kids. A daughter, and just, you know, leaving things behind and taking what she's can, and to me the sevens is usually waiting for that harvest, you know, ready to pluck. But to me, this one is like, you know, I'm taking what I have. It's, you know, I'm leaving the rest behind. You know, all that money and everything that was offered to me just isn't worth it. I'm just going to take what I have and keep it going. The Eight of Wands, she was feeling trapped, like she had no way out, no way out. But this was of her own imprisonment. She made this decision. So she's trying to get out. She's trying to get out of this area of being trapped and kind of stuck. Let's see. In the future, Seven of Wands. This is kind of like, wow. Somebody else was kind of pulling her strings and handling her. And this is kind of left... wow. Five of Cups is sadness, depression. And the Empress. I think she's doing this for her kids, her family. She's leaving. I think she got herself into some things that she wasn't quite ready for. She wasn't quite ready for. A part of her, she's had to kind of kill off a part of her, or in regards to maybe her husband and her family. Somebody else was pulling her strings. This is what keeps showing up. And she had to leave. She had to leave. She had to leave. That was very interesting. Very extraterrestrial that I wasn't trying to get into, because I know I'm just about to turn most of you guys off. But that's where that deck wanted to go. Let's see. I want to see her thoughts on Trump real fast. Her relationship with Trump. Her thoughts on Trump. So they're both emperors, but I'm going to put her on the femme side and him on the masculine. So Trump and Nikki Haley. It said supernatural. So that's where there's other things going on. The Four of Wands, the foundation. She kind of made this decision when, strangely enough, the foundation, when everything... when did she put in this resignation? I think the foundation of it was with this pact between... which I predicted in my Trump regular reading. My Trump monthly reading about U.S., Canada, and Mexico. That was the foundation of when this was all going to occur. This is when her end started, was when this thing was created, the foundation of this kind of treaty. I don't know what it is, but between Mexico, U.S., and Canada. That was kind of the end for her. This is Like, she kind of lost her foot. Remember when I said everything was chaos around her? Like, she opened this book of spells and she learned some things and some hard truths. And she learned, like, what's really going on. And it kind of overwhelmed her. And it was too much. That's what this is telling me. This is the Where's Waldo card. It's like she has no control. It was way too chaotic. Way too much going on. She got more than what she actually... I think maybe she found out about how these extraterrestrials are really doing things, or interdimensionals. I think, funny enough, that's what she really found out. That maybe she was working for these people and she didn't realize, and the spell book opened and all these things came out and it scared the living crap out of her. Okay, how about Trump? Trump is going through his relationship with her. He feels that they used her to get in a foothold of something. That she was vulnerable. Because this is the shadow self. So her vulnerability, she made herself vulnerable. In what areas that she worked for those other people, she was completely vulnerable. And they used that to kind of burn him. She was a willing participant in these other people's game, and that knowledge, and maybe he was too kind of proud to acknowledge, because he does have an ego, and that's part of the devil too. But it kind of, her vulnerability and her serving these other people kind of burnt him, and he's very angry about it. Okay, what does she want from Trump? She just wants, what she wants from Trump, this is what she wants from him. She wants justice. So she feels, I think she wants, funny enough, I think she wants him to kind of help. This is justice. So this is like, you know, to balance things. I think that her being laid open, that they kind of tortured her a little bit. I think that they had her hands tied, that they had things on her. They had things. And I also think that maybe even Trump kind of knew that she was in bed with these people. And so, maybe this is the devil card too. He's ready to make her the sacrifice to let her go. Let's see. What does he want from her? Judgment. He wants her, what's funny is that what does he want from her? He wants public opinion in regards to her. He wants public opinion. I think who she got in bed with, she didn't realize how vicious they are and what they would do to her. I think her life was in danger. And what he wants is public opinion, the light brought out on it. That's what he wants from her. He would love for her to kind of crawl out and fight back and bring things in public. Let me see. The Ten of Pentacles. I don't think that she's leaving. Look at her family. This is her family, and they have the gas mask. And it's upside down. So her loss of job, her loss of kind of her building up, loss of kind of family things, it's not going quite well. I think she's going to try to protect her and her family as much as possible with these gas masks, you see. And she's still trying to hold the family together, but there's a storm brewing, and it kind of disrupted her house a little bit. And she's trying to protect, you know, her children and her husband as much as possible. And, this is a weird thing to me. It kind of reminds me of the Freemasons. Somebody look up that symbol with the Freemasons. I'll have to look it up. I had the Tex Mars book on symbology, on occult symbols. But to me, this reminds me of an occult symbol of the Freemasons and with the tie. Somebody look that up. If you're into esoteric and occult and Freemasons, what is that thing when they have the tie hanging down? There's a where it's kind of hanging like that. It means something. This has kind of relieved some of the stress that was held over Trump. So Trump is kind of relieved in a way that she's leaving. It kind of, because remember I said he's been stressed out, and look at that. There's other ugly worldly things going on, kind of stressing him out. Remember Gremlins. A Gremlins is something that looks nice and pretty but turns into a monster. So I think her leaving has relieved some stress that was keeping him up at night. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the Six of Pentacles. It's give and take, give and take. He doesn't have to give and take as much. So before it felt like he was given more than what he was getting. Now it's kind of reversed. He's going to get more than what he's given. The Hierophant is, could be, he didn't have to give anything. It could be in regards to this appointment of Kabbalah. This also could be, what's his name? Rod Rosenstein. The Hierophant. The Hierophant means law, order, governments. And look at, they're eating their own. So it's kind of cannibalism. They're kind of eating their own. You know, the bite in the hand that feeds them. So something's going on. Bite in the hand that feeds them. They're feeding off the hand that feeds them. That fed them. So, and they're continuing this infight. And to me, it still shows that Trump is still fighting off many different adversaries on many different fronts. He made a knockout. With her leaving and this relationship, he's knocked someone out. But he still has many other ones coming for him. So, you know, he's won one battle but has nowhere near won the war. So I think there's a lot more going on to what Nikki Haley is leaving. And I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy when I talk about these other supernaturals, these interdimensionals. If you think that we're the only people in this world, in this galaxy, we're the only people with consciousness, you are extremely wrong. And if you go back and read history, and understand history and understand what people like Hitler were worshiping and what they were into, because Hitler was very much into the occult. Almost all these world leaders are. Most all these companies are. You just have to look at their logos and you can tell it's a magical sigil. This country was built on magic. You just have to even look at the dollar bill and look at the White House and the grounds and the obelisk and the penis. I can't even think what the obelisk and the what's the other one in regards to but it's basically a penis is there. So there's otherworldly things going on. I think Nikki got into some shit that she wrote a check that she couldn't cash, and she got in some deep things. So she's trying to hold things together for her family. And trying to get out the best way she can. They're starting to eat their own in government. The law, they're eating their own. And it's nowhere near over. So that's the end of this reading. I'll talk to you guys later.